Hey there, my name's Taylor Walden, and I'm the host of the Shop Talk with Radiate Prints podcast. Today on the podcast, I interviewed Susan Bucci of the Painted Peacock and Prints and Clay. Susan owns a local painted pottery studio, but she also owns an e-commerce business where she serves clients all over the country. They send in their handprints, paw prints of their children, pets, family members, anyone's handprints that you could possibly want, and put it on a piece of pottery and send it back to them. It's a really unique idea. She just came up with it a couple of years ago and was actually the first person in the country to be able to offer it. And it's been a huge success for her. And she talks about how she came up with the idea, how she built this new business idea out of her existing company. This business idea came about during COVID, which was a really dark time for most businesses, including hers, that was struggling, and she needed to make the business better. And this is how she did it. I think you'll really enjoy it. So let's tune in. Your first experience with entrepreneurship?
No. I actually went to ECU and got my MFA in metalsmithing and jewelry design. Ooh. And so I thought I was going to be a metalsmith, a jeweler. And after graduating, I was working 4 different jobs. I was working at a Merge Art Center running their ceramics and metalsmithing. I was at Pitt Community College teaching metalsmithing. I was working for a private jeweler. And I had my own I was selling on my own.
Wow.
So literally every day I was like, where am I going today? Well, how am I supposed to dress? Like what is happening?
Can we pause and what is metalsmithing?
Oh, sure. Metalsmithing is, I was working with silver, copper, and it's small scale. So we're not talking about the big sculptural welding. We're talking about soldering small scale. So I was specifically working on jewelry. I was always interested in jewelry for men, so I tended to make a lot of sets that were like make something for the woman, the necklace, the earrings, and then I'd make tie tacks and cufflinks that matched so that they could have matching sets.
Oh, that's cool.
That's kind of like what I enjoyed doing.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah. And so I remember just being crazy all the time, not knowing where I needed to go, 4 different places. And then the tax man came around at the end of that year, and I was a contractor on all those jobs, and nobody prepares you for that.
Yeah.
And so when I got that tax bill, I cried. And I was like, I need to do something different here. Like, this can't work out. But I did have my own jewelry business at that point. It was short-lived just because the way the road was winding and took me. So turns out that Accidental Artist was coming to town, which is a paint your own pottery studio. They had one location in New Bern, and they were looking to expand into Greenville. And so I applied. It sounded interesting. I've always been in ceramics as well, and got the job. And it was just kind of a dream come true. I just was managing this paint your own pottery studio, and I love working for small business.
And for someone who's listening who doesn't know, what is a paint your own pottery studio?
Yeah. Paint your own pottery studio. We have over 300 items to choose from vases, plates, figurines, and we've got all these specialty paints that are made up of crushed up glass that you get to paint with.
That's cool.
Then we fire everything in a big oven called a kiln. It gets up to 1,831 degrees, so not your standard oven.
Yeah.
And it makes everything shiny, so all that glass melts and makes it shiny. So you get to create custom pieces, decorated however you want to match your decor, family name, handprints, which we'll get into quite a bit here. And so you get to create this piece that you keep, and it's functional. You can eat off of it. It's food safe. You can drink out of it. So it's really fun activity to do. Typically devices are put away, so it's a great family activity. And then we've had a lot of marriage proposals over there and baby announcements. And so it's been really fun. So
So basically people can go in the community that a studio is in and just go make their own pottery.
Open studio. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Cool.
come anytime.
So you were managing this when it was called Accidental Artist in
Correct.
Greenville. Okay.
Yep. So I helped open the studio in Greenville, and then I'd been running it for about 5 years. We were looking to expand into, what is the name of the military town? Not Jacksonville. Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We were expanding into Jacksonville. We had a manager out there. We had a location, and everything started falling apart. The manager realized that managing is a year-round position, and she had come from teaching, and so she was not excited about the
summer.
The summer. Christmas holidays. The building that we had was purchased, and so they wouldn't agree to all the things we had originally previously negotiated.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the owners of Accidental Artists said, you know what? We're just going to retire.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I ended up purchasing the one in Greenville only. So we changed the name to Painted Peacock.
How did you come up with that name?
Oh, I remember we were on a long car ride, and I remember just having a notepad and over 100 names that I was just writing down. Painted Peacock was the first. Funny story about that. The reason that it got skipped initially was everyone was going to call it the PP. Because everybody used to call Accidental Artists going to AA. And so then I was like, everybody's going to call it the PP. I don't want to.
That thought never come to my mind.
Well, I'm really glad. I think it helped. But coming straight off of everyone calling it going to AA to.
Oh my gosh.
That I was nervous about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it was actually my first name that I came up with. And it was strictly because of the color. I mean, just the beauty of a peacock and the colorfulness, and it was just fun to say.
Yeah.
So, Painted Peacock, pottery, tongue twister.
It all goes together.
Yeah. So I went through 100 different names, and then I just went right back to that first one. So, yeah.
So you guys rebranded. And...
We rebranded, and naturally. I bought the studio in February that year, 2014.
Okay.
Found out I was pregnant February 2014.
Oh.
So I remember just being like, oh. By the end of that year, I was, 9 months pregnant, installing kilns, laying on the ground,
Wow.
it was wild.
Yeah,
very
I'd say.
Interesting first year there.
Yeah. So you had a baby the same year that you,
Yep. So that was fun. I mean,
What was it really like? I mean, like, what'd you have to, like, how did you make it work?
I didn't know any different. Like I had never owned a business like that before. I'd never had a baby before. So I guess it really just was like, oh, you're supposed to stop working at some point while you're pregnant. Oh, you're supposed to take a maternity leave. What? I took 10 solid days.
Oh my gosh.
And then she was right there next to me at work at the carrier sleeping. And it was perfect. I don't know. It's hard, but it wasn't. I don't know, everything I loved right there.
I'm sure everything felt so new at that point too.
Yes. But fortunately we had already developed an operations manual, and we had things going really smooth. And so it wasn't too crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely had its hiccups, but I'm very thankful for the team that I had, and getting us through it.
So what, did you change anything like when you started it?
Yeah, I actually changed quite a bit. Just from looks to, I appreciate everything that Accidental Artist was, but I had a different vision.
Yeah.
I still have a different vision, and I feel like all along I've been kind of piecemealing everything together. So I dream of the day that I can just like blank box it and start from the beginning.
Yeah.
But we definitely painted and changed to where we always focused on the customer, but we really, really just went into teaching techniques and making sure that every customer that came in felt like they were an artist, like they could do it. I never considered myself an artist. And so it was really important to me that people didn't feel overwhelmed when they walked in. I'm not into drawing. I'm not a big painter. I like to paint walls, not necessarily, all the details.
And you own the Painted Peacock?
And I own the Painted Peacock, but that's the joy of it, is the fact that anyone can do it. We've got really great, easy techniques.
Yeah.
And the staff is wonderful and will walk you through any of them so that you leave going, I did it. I made this. And that's the feeling I want everybody to have. But then we always get these artists that do come in and paint. And I just saw a piece when I was there this morning that was just this landscape. And I was like,
wow,
jealous.
Yeah, that's some talent.
Yeah. So
what did you do to make it feel like, approachable, I guess?
The easy techniques, friendly staff. I think just walking in, I've walked into so many, I don't like clothes shopping. I'm not into that. And so when I walk into a store, I would find that nobody would ask if I needed anything, if I needed help, and I wouldn't even know who was working there. So we made it a point to make sure that you always know who the employee is. You always, they are greeted within 3 seconds of walking in the door, whether it's a, hey, I'll be right with you, or a full greeting. But just making people comfortable from the moment and say, I've got you. Like whatever you need, as much help as you need, we got you. So I think that was the key, is easing people right when they walked through the door.
Did you change anything about the process?
Processes didn't change too horribly much. Things didn't change a whole bunch, I would say, until COVID hit. And then things got wild.
So you're like 6 years in at this point, right?
Yes. And we did start offering things like pottery to go to a little bit. Where
pre-COVID?
Pre-COVID, it was starting just a little bit.
Okay.
Where we were putting together kits for people to paint at home. We work with Trillium members, so different abilities and needs. And so we found that some people really preferred to paint at home. The accessibility was challenging. So we started where we would pack up the pottery and the paints and brushes for them. They would take it home, paint it, bring it back, we'd fire it. Well, thank goodness we did that, because when COVID hit, I was up in New Jersey, and we didn't know how real this was. Like it was crazy, but Jersey was about 2 weeks ahead of us. And so we got hit. Not hit, but we saw the reality of it while we were up in Jersey, and I'm having to make all these decisions on what to do.
Up there?
We were visiting family up there, and we walked into a Trader Joe's that had not a single thing on the shelves. You could not get a cough drop. You could not, and my daughter was sick at the time, like with just maybe cold, maybe I don't.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. At the time, we didn't know. And so,
you just need a cough drop.
So we just needed some medication for a child. No. Couldn't get a single thing. And so I'm sitting here calling my managers at the time saying, start putting together pottery to go kits. We need to do this because it is going to shut down. Like, we need to be prepared. And they were like, are you sure? I was like, do it. Please do it. And sure enough, they did. And they were calling me like, it's going crazy. Like, things are selling. We're running out of things. And so we had a great 2 weeks of pottery to go, which is something we didn't offer at that scale before, so we were winging it quite a bit. And then the shutdown. Being an in-studio entertainment business, we were shut down for I think about 5-6 weeks of no business whatsoever.
So were you allowed to do the to-go stuff?
No, they shut us down for that too. Well, I'm trying to think back. We did do it for a little bit to where it was no contact. And I think I thought it was shut down completely because it came to such a crawl.
Yeah, it was so slow.
Yeah, so what we were doing is we had bins outside that people would drop their things. Like, we would leave it for them to pick up there. They would drop it off there. But it came to a crawl. And so here we are like, okay, we're going to reopen. And everyone's going to be so eager to get out. And
no, not the case.
At all. We reopened. It was crickets, which makes sense. I mean, looking back, I'm like, well, duh, Susie. But we didn't know. Again, we didn't really know the full extent of it.
No one knew what was going on.
And so things were very, very slow. We had all these to-go kits ready that nobody was buying. Like, people were kind of over it. They were just over it at that point. And so that things started slowly picking up. And that Christmas, we decided, why don't we do the painting for people? They still want custom gifts. People aren't going out shopping. They're not doing these things. So why don't we go ahead and paint for them? We'll have them come in, capture some kids' handprints, and then we'll paint for them. Well, posting that online, we're getting phone calls from Texas and Louisiana and all these places hey, how can I get that? We were like, well, come to Greenville, North Carolina, just a short drive, And so I remember the moment that I was like, we need to figure out how to do this nationwide. And so spent the next 9 months creating a kit that we could put together that we would ship to customers. They would capture the handprints and paw prints, footprints, all those things. They would ship it back to us and we would create a mold from it. So it took that long just because we were first of all, we were still running a business. And then the kit needed to be super durable, family-proof, kid-proof, non-messy, non-toxic, and then had to work with the reverse mold-making process. So we spent a long time just making sure that we got that right, and feel like we did a great job on that. but we were the first on the market to do it nationwide like that. And just kind of started a business.
But all from what some would call was like, you know, just a very like dark period for a lot of businesses. And, you know, this came out of that.
Yes. Yeah. And so once we started doing those kits, we were still at this time, we were just doing it out of Painted Peacock. This is just we had a whole plan that we were going to do the painting on the weekends. We're going to have some baker's racks and we're going to pull them out and work on the weekends when we don't have like after hours birthday parties and stuff. Within 3 days, I was looking for a new location.
Oh my God. So like there was that much response?
There was.
Wow.
And so, and we had never shipped before, like major shipping. So all of a sudden it's like, we need space for boxes. We need space for wrapping. And everything just started multiplying. And all of a sudden, you know, I had built shelves for some boxes, but now we needed more. Yeah. More. And so we ended up getting a different location and started out of there. And it has just been taken off like crazy now.
So at what point did you start calling it something different?
Not long after that. So once we built the official website, and so that must have been 2021. I would say we officially launched in 2022.
And what was the name?
Prints and Clay. Yep. And so we now have Prints and Clay, and we expanded even from there. We've got 2 units in that strip now because it's exploded, and we just are coming off a very lovely Christmas.
That's great.
We've painted thousands and thousands of ornaments, but it's all around your kids' hands and paws, and it's so special. So yeah, I absolutely love what we do at both Painted Peacock for the local community and nationwide, and it's really made it such a strong business. I'm like,
is it legally all the same thing, or is it like 2 separate things?
It's a DBA. So yep.
We're the same way.
Yep.
I mean, because when I saw it, because I mean, I'm watching it as like a consumer, like outside business person, just watching it, it made me think like, you know, it made the business so strong, but like 2 totally different market segments and ways of delivering. Like, you know, I know you said like it started because you had people calling, but like, I guess walk me through more of like what was going on in your head when...
Well, I was thinking we need to strengthen this business. Like, who saw this coming? And so the idea of being able to do something nationwide without contact, I was like, well, it's just smart business. Yeah. And I was like, and I get to employ more people, because that's one of my favorite parts is being able to employ these wonderful. And I say ladies, I do have one gentleman. We would like more. Come apply. We've got positions. But a wonderful group of people that, and I don't know, it's just the best.
Yeah. Well, and you guys, and like, you're kind of like, we're kind of in the same vein with Symbol and Sentimental. We get to play like such a special role in some of the people's like most important moments, and y'all are getting to do the same thing with handprints, and footprints, and paw prints.
And then we do an especially touching, we do what's called an angel print program.
Okay,
and
what's
so
that?
right now we're at ECU Health, and we are able to take digital prints, so ink prints, and digitize them and turn them into 3-dimensional prints from there. And so we are able to create all these same keepsakes for our sweet little angel babies. And so working with ECU has been absolutely incredible on that.
That's so
and
cool.
We're hoping to get into more hospitals and be able to provide this. But we create a plaque that has their name in gold with their sweet little hands and feet on it. And
that is
it's so cool that they can actually just touch those little prints. And
I know.
feel
So you're able to make it like 3D. That is cool.
Yeah. So that was last year's project.
Okay. Yeah.
Developing that.
Wow. So has that changed? Has that ability changed the way that you guys do handprint, footprint collection?
Yeah. So we offer it now to anybody to submit ink prints instead of the print kit.
Okay.
We do still prefer the print kit when possible. We can capture more detail. Some of the ink prints that we get are a little smudged, and it's not quite the same, but you know, if that's all you've got, we are going to make it. Yeah, we're going to make it work. So yeah, it's definitely changed what we can offer now to more people that are. I don't have my ink prints on my babies, and they're all grown, and you know. Yeah.
So you're 3 years into it now?
Yeah, I would say 3 solid years.
Okay.
We had been doing it for about a year before that. was very, I'm going to say very soft. It was a big
Figuring
learning
it
curve.
out.
Just systems weren't in place. Things like, again, we thought we were doing this out of the party room at Peacock.
Yeah.
So we weren't quite ready for how large it got. But we definitely rolled with it.
Yeah. So you guys were a first mover in the market to do this.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what that's been like.
It was awesome. I mean, great big market out there.
Yeah.
And now the competition is coming.
Yeah. So you guys were the first ones to come up with the idea that you could collect someone's footprints, or just we'll call it prints now, prints from their home.
Correct.
And mail
Where
it
they
to
didn't
you.
have to go into a studio. They
Right.
could, because there's a lot of places that do it, you know, and I still encourage people, if you're local and you've got a local
support.
studio that does it, definitely support them, because it was kind of weird going to, we've got a national convention that we go to for contemporary studios.
Okay. Cool.
And so I've got all these people that are like, hey, you're going to steal our handprint market. I'm like, that is not our goal at all. But there's a lot of people that won't go to a studio or don't know. We're trying to fill that gap. So our price point is a little higher than most local studios will have. The quality is outstanding. Our painters are top notch. We care about every part of the process. So you are going to pay for that additional care and attention, but I promise it's worth it.
Yeah.
You see all those little details.
Yeah, the value is there. So you guys were the first ones to come out with this, and you said that like when did you start seeing other businesses start to try to jump on the bandwagon?
Not too long after, some people, but they haven't grown like we of course follow, and they aren't growing exponentially or anything, but we do have some more recently, like this past year, that are definitely coming and trying.
How does that impact you guys?
We typically we're big on, we're going to do what we do well. And I'm not going to worry about what everybody else is doing. Like, we're going to keep our eye on it. What I think is most frustrating is that we've seen a lot of people copying our designs. And that's where, the people that have started our competition, they have literally ordered from us and then go and copy it. And it's just like, do your thing and do it well, but make it your thing. So there's one competitor, it's wonderful. She's doing things completely different, and they're beautiful. And we're like, I would order that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's cool. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Keep doing that. So yeah, it affects, but we try really hard. Same thing with Peacock. When we were doing board art, we had a competitor move in the same parking lot. And I remember panicking. And then I was just like, wait a second. We're awesome. Like, my staff is amazing. You can't, they're going to treat you better. We're going to keep doing our thing.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we survived and continued on. Yeah. Not that I want other business, how it is.
Yeah. But I think we run into some of the same things, which is what makes me curious. Like when you sell online, like e-commerce is just this vast ocean of different businesses and people who, like for us, we struggle with a lot of Chinese businesses that. Yeah, because we sell on Amazon. And when you sell on Amazon, there are sellers from all over the world who are trying to, make more money. And sometimes that means like going on our listing and copying everything and then marking it for $2 instead of $12.
So how do you combat that?
For us, it's like we're constantly innovating and coming out with new products from the Amazon side. I think it's interesting in e-commerce because you've got these different platforms, and it's like there's different customers on each platform, and there's different things that work on each platform. So like for us, like Amazon is like all PPC, like we're, pay per click advertising. And then we're realizing that, like we can create a really strong product and we can build up the reviews, and that will last, but we need to be constantly working on other products because it's possible that that product could get found by a Chinese company and they start to compete. And let's face it, like some of the products that are made over there, like we're selling an American made product for $15 and then they come on and sell it for $5. And it's like, you just can't compete with that. Like there's nothing I could possibly do. So it's a lot of that. And you're constantly innovating and trying to provide like the best possible product, the best possible experience. Because the reality is like when you're buying on Amazon, like people do read reviews, but they're not going so far to be like, oh, wait, this $5 product is actually going to kind of suck compared to the $15 product. And it sounds like you guys are kind of in that same boat where you're a you're providing a product that is at a higher price point, but the value is
yeah, especially for an heirloom keepsake that you're gonna
Yes.
have forever. Like spend the extra couple bucks and make it really great.
yeah. So I don't think it's a problem like unique to like one platform, but I think it is in e-commerce.
Yes.
Struggle.
But like you said, we're just innovating all the time. We actually just released not too long ago silhouettes. So now we're taking, you can provide a profile image of your child, a dog. Again, we're very pet friendly.
Yeah.
Horse, whatever you got. And we turn it into a silhouette that then is pressed into the clay. So again, it's like this tangible. It's just a different twist on the classic
That's
silhouette. Cool. And so ornaments, plates, plaques, pieces for your bookshelf, dimensional. So
that's really
doing
cool.
that. And then we've got a whole page of ideas coming up for this year that I'm pumped about. Like I cannot wait.
That's gotta be like the most fun part of your job.
Yes, the coming up with new ideas. Even though I can't paint like to the level, what I'll typically do is I come up with like ideas and then I'm like, this is kind of what I want now.
Yeah, make it look good.
Make it look good.
Yeah.
And they do such a good job with that. So New Year's Day, I was like, everybody's sleeping. I'm going to pop into the studio. I woke up super early. I'm just going to go play. Like, it's not going to be a work day. I'm just going to go play with all the ideas that are kind of in my brain. I ended up spending like the entire day there. My husband is wonderful and is like, hey, if you're having fun and you're getting things done, like just stay. But I knocked out so many ideas that have been trapped in my head. And it was just a big play day.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's cool that you've been able to find those ways that you can maintain that part of creativity and the role that you play in the business.
Yes. I've always been more of a jack of all trades. And so a lot of creative business owners don't like the financial side of things. I'm like, I like some of the creative side. I like some of the financial side. So I was actually like on doing all my reports and budgeting before coming here today. And I'm like, this is so fun.
We're different people, Susan.
And so, but the thing is, I don't like doing anything for too long, and so I want to do it all, but I don't want to do it for too long.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wouldn't want to do financials every day.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think I love most about running the business is I really do get to change hats. And especially two businesses that are so completely different. Everything's like you called it out. They're two completely different businesses. They do not overlap except for pottery.
Yeah, that's the unifying.
Yep, that is the only thing that is the same, but otherwise they are completely different. So I get a wide variety of things to do every day.
So looking back over like launching Painted Peacock, or not Painted Peacock, but Prints and Clay from Painted Peacock, what would you say is like one of the biggest struggles that you guys have encountered, like growth wise? Because it sounds like you've grown really fast.
Learning to sell online. I mean, that just keeping up with that. The marketing. Yeah, I would say it was the marketing side of things.
You had the idea and the way to do it, but getting people to know about it.
Yeah, and again, we were so used to the grassroots, like network, big fan of the Chamber of Commerce events.
Local business, that's all what it is.
It's all it is. Social media is kind of fun, but it's not as necessary. And then all of a sudden, the way you're talking online and everything you do is completely different for an online business. So,
Did you have anyone that you like reached out to like learn, or like how did you learn it?
I would say it came from employees. Okay. So we started hiring, more people, and then I was looking for people that could do the social media side. And my girl right now, Grace, is on fire. She is so good with it.
Good.
And they teach me. Okay. They're more trendy. I'm not a social media girl.
They're using the social media,
Yep. So I would say they teach me. And then we do work with another company that help us with our Google and
advertising.
Just because that is a job in itself.
Yeah.
And so the hire out for the things that you don't want to spend your time on.
And I'm just curious, I don't know, this is such a new topic. Have you looked into how AI and like OpenAI and ChatGPT are going to affect e-commerce? Like, because I mean, like talking about Google, that's what made me think of it.
Yes. We are leaning towards the handmade. You can't replicate that. The digital images.
I'm
the
talking about
things
searching, like for people to find. Yeah, like from a search perspective. Have you come across any of this yet?
No, I'm gonna have. I mean, the growth agencies we work with right now for Google, they are big on AI.
Good.
And so, yes, I think we are using it to a certain degree, but that's not the channel I am familiar with. So that's why I hired them.
Yeah. There's some new stuff coming out. I mean, and I'm sure you're familiar with just like how people are kind of changing their search habits. It used to be that you went to Google for everything, and now people are going to ChatGPT. So there are some, like, lots of things are changing really fast when it comes to, advertising and like how product placement works. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a way you can like register your brand with OpenAI.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
I'm not
gonna lie.
It's so new because I mean, like, it's just changing. Because I mean, we've all seen, like, whether you're in a business or not, like how fast AI has changed and evolved, and for better or for worse, it's here. So like, how do we, adapt?
Yeah, I accidentally, I was on Amazon the other day and I accidentally clicked the box, and it was wild. It was, it was telling me I was looking for a specific epoxy resin. And it was like, well, it looks like this should be the one that you, and I was like, oh.
Like, thank you, personal shopper.
I know.
Well, apparently that's how, so there's a big struggle right now with Amazon. People are using like these personal shoppers to, like, they're going in AI and they're like, oh, I'm shopping for X, Y, and Z, or this person or this thing, and it's offering recommendations. So the big thing is like, how do you make it recommend prints
your
and clay?
Product?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the thing to figure out now.
I guess I'll have to look into, like, is it all going to be, I'm going to guess it's going to become paid advertising and all that good stuff. That's the road
it seems like it's going to go down, but the AI changes so fast. You just, So anyway, I was just curious, like, as another e-commerce person, if you had heard anything, or like if you had thought about like how you were going to approach it.
I'm trying really hard to embrace AI because it's not going to go away.
Right.
So we have to. You can't fight it. You're going to have to. So we will be embracing it, but I can't bring myself to AI create images or things like that because I want to show what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so we don't use it for any of that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that I was just talking about on another podcast episode about like the creativity side of it and how like people will just lean on it for like a business name. And I'm like, I get it. Like, for brainstorming, sure. But like that, like, there's so much value in your humanness and your brain. And like, there's so much, like, I believe we were created in the image of God and God's a creator. So like, we all have like this creative ability about us. Like, why toss that out the window and just go to like...
It's definitely a tool that can enhance.
Yes.
But I do not ever want to use it to do the work to replace.
Yes.
I don't want it to replace. I just want it to enhance.
Yeah. Brainstorm, sure.
Yeah.
But like,
I do love a brainstorm session.
Yes.
With AI.
Anyway, all right. I don't stop with AI. It's like, yeah. But anyway, I have such mixed feelings about it.
Same.
Yeah. So one question I ask everyone is, what is one small thing that has made a surprisingly big difference for your business?
Slowing down to speed up. I don't tend to like slowing down. And I've really learned that taking the time away from the studio, taking time to think things through, not just surface level, but deeper, get some clarity on where you want to go, what you want to do, so that you can tell that to your staff and your customers and everybody else. It makes a big difference. So for me, slowing down, it sounds so simple, but that's been kind of huge for me. And I still have to remind myself, especially coming off of Christmas, like, I need to start taking some days where I just slow down and think about things. And it's so good for myself, my well-being, my mental health, but also for my staff, because if they don't have that clarity, we're not going to be on the same page. So
that's good. I feel like that can be really hard as a business owner.
It is really hard. Yeah. And of course I like working in the business, and then, you hear on the business, in the business. I like working in the business. I have to remind myself to get out of it and
work
do
on
that.
It too.
Yeah. So I've got good people in place. They can do it. I just really like doing some of it.
And if you could go back in time and give younger Susan a piece of advice, what would you say to her?
Confidence, because that's something I've always struggled with, is just being confident. But I do feel like I look back and I had ideas, and maybe somebody said it wasn't a good idea and I didn't do it. And then I'm like, wait, I should have done that.
Yeah.
I think just being confident and being okay making those mistakes. Like, even if it was the wrong move, you know what? We're still going.
That's right.
Yeah.
And outside of the business, is there any like hobby or thing that you like to do that kind of recharges your batteries?
I think I gave it away when I said I spent New Year's Day in the studio. No, I have an 11-year-old daughter right now. And one of my favorite things to do is I've always loved parks. So like going to the park, and she's into volleyball right now. So we've been playing a ton of beach volleyball. And I'm from Chicago originally. So this cold weather is my jam. I just absolutely love it. And so the courts have been nice and empty because apparently people don't like to play volleyball in the winter. So she and I have been just going out there and playing in the sand and
That's
playing
fun.
in the park.
I'm really surprised you didn't double down on going to the studio. I thought that's where it was going to go.
It's definitely...
it's in there, I guess.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in there. But and I love it because my daughter likes to come and she'll play on the wheel and she'll play, cool. Play with clay and build things. And so I think, outside the studio, outside of work, my husband, my daughter, that's my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And if someone was coming to visit Eastern North Carolina for the very first time, where would you take them?
I would say Town Commons. I know it's undergoing a lot right now, but it has an amazing park. It's got the water. We used to do like a lot of stand-up paddle boarding and it kind of offers everything right there, music. So I'm a big fan of Town Commons.
Yeah.
Whenever my nieces and nephews come to town, I'm like the zip
That's
line.
Where you guys go. Yeah. Oh yeah. That park is, or I guess playground.
Like
my daughter calls it the park, but she really means the playground.
Playground, yes.
Yeah. The zip line's good.
It's fun. Yeah.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking more about your businesses. It's just so impressive to see what you've built, and especially like seeing you kind of come in as like a manager and then being able to build so much and create your own spin on it and become a first mover in the national market. It's awesome.
It's been
congratulations.
Fun. Thank you so much for having me and for sharing your stories too. And I absolutely love listening to this podcast. I've learned so much and taken away so much. So
thank you, Susan. That means so much. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this week of a Shop Talk with Radiate Prints podcast, and we'll see you next week.